Have you ever needed a data structure that looks like a list but cannot be changed? That's where tuples come in. They're fast, efficient, and perfect when you want data to stay exactly the same. In this video, we will dive into tuples in Python. But before that, let's quickly recap what we covered in our last video. We explored set operations, okay, including union, intersection, difference, and symmetric difference. All right, we also covered how to add elements, remove them, and merge two sets. Now let's check out the answers to the practice questions from our last video. The first one, create two sets and find the difference between them. All right, let's get to it. Let's say this is my first set. Okay, let's create it. Let's keep it simple for now. Set 2. Let's put some numbers in it as well. Okay, we can see 3, 4, and 5. There are 3 elements of these two sets, 3 numbers in these two sets which are similar. So when we create a difference, let's try this. Set 1 dot difference from set 2. Okay, let's try printing that. There we go. The difference operation basically returns elements present in set 1, okay, but not in set 2. Okay, so that's why 1 and 2 are present in set 1, but they are not present in set 2. 3, 4, and 5 were also in set 1, but wouldn't take it. Difference does not work like that. Okay, now let's create 3 sets. Okay, set 1. Let's keep it 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, set 2. Let's put it like 2, 3, 5, and 6. Okay, and set 3. All right, 3, 4, let's say 6 and 7. Now let's try figuring out the intersection between these 3 sets. So I will start with set 1. Oh, sorry. Print set 1 dot intersection. And what do we want to find that out in? We want to find that out in set 2 and set 3, the common elements. Okay, set 2 comma set 3, and let's print that. There we go. Basically, it has we have 3 over here. We've got the output as a result. Basically, the result over here is the common element which is present in all 3 sets over here. We can see that manually. 3 is the only number which was present in all sets. So that's what we got over here. Okay. Now let's move on to the next question. Create 2 sets and apply the union operation. Let's create another one. Okay. Set 1. Brackets for set 1, 2, 3. Oh, sorry. 4. Set 2 over here. 3, 4, 5, and 6. These are our 2 sets. Now we need to find out what are what are the elements which are in either of them but not in both of them. Okay, so print set 1, okay, dot symmetric difference. All right, and in what? Set 2. There we go. 1, 2, 5, and 6. Over here, from set 1 we have 1 and 2. From set 2 we have 5 and 6. Oh, okay. I just solved our last question over here, the symmetric difference. Okay, we can see it basically returns elements that are in either of the set but not both of them. Okay, let's get back to the union. Set 1. is equal to 1, 2, and 3. Mistakes happen, but it's always important that you correct them. Okay? Alright, these are our two sets. Let's find the union between them. Okay? Without the duplicates, of course. Sets, as we know, do not take duplicates in them. Okay? Now let's print set1 dot union in brackets set2. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We have combined them both the sets, and we do not have any duplicates in them, so that is taken care of. Let's put a duplicate, just for the sake of an example. See, union is done, but 2 was taken only once because set does not accept. What does it not accept? Duplicates. All right, then let's move on. What are we going to cover in our video today? We are going to cover tuples. That's another data structure. We gave a brief introduction in one of our videos. I'll mention the link over here. But we never got into details. Today we would introduce you to tuples. We will tell you how tuples are created, how you do indexing in them, length function, type function, how tuples are immutable, and how can you perform concatenation in tuples. So let's get started. A tuple is nothing but a collection of elements similar to a list. The only difference is in list, when we create one, we use square brackets. Okay, but in tuples, we use parentheses. That's the difference when it comes to the format, the syntax of this particular data structure. Okay, and the most important thing, tuples are immutable. Remember that. Tuples are immutable. You cannot, once a tuple has been created, you cannot make a change in that tuple. So you have to be very careful. If you have made a spelling mistake or a wrong number has been input, you will have to create a different one. All right, or slice it and add into a different variable for a new tuple, etc., etc. But that particular tuple, once created, you cannot change anything inside it. Okay, so remember that. All right. Let's start. This is basically for fixed data. So let's say I have my first tuple. Okay, let's say I have 1, 5, 8, 2, 1. Okay, and I have that printed. There you go. This is a tuple, hands down. Okay, the elements are comma separated, as you can see over here, and they are in parentheses brackets. Okay, now let's create another tuple. Okay, and you don't get confused. It's actually very simple. In tuple, the thing is that you need not put brackets. Okay, so if I do the same thing over here, okay, the same elements, all right, same elements, okay, but I am not putting any parentheses over there. Okay, and if I print it, it's still a tuple. See, the format is exactly the same. It's still coming in parentheses over here. Okay, now tuples can also have strings inside them. Okay, let's try creating one over here. Let's say Python. Okay, and our next element is this print 3. There you go, a proper tuple. All right, this is how they are created. Now I have already mentioned it over here. There are different ways to create a tuple. Okay, but an important gotcha is understanding single element tuples. Over here, you understand that yes, as long as I separated them by a comma, it's a tuple. I need not put a parentheses like I did over here. But let's say you have only a single element to work on, but you, for some reason, still need it to be a tuple. Okay. Now if I do this, okay, no, this is not a tuple, what I'm going to create now. I have put parentheses over there and I put bracket over there. In parentheses, brackets, and I put number 1 in it. Okay, this is not a tuple. Okay, not a tuple again. Our next example. All right, let's put it number 2 and I'll just type 1 over there. Okay, right now it's just a single integer, nothing else. Nothing else. It is just a data type. Not a tuple 2 is just a data type. It is just an integer. It is not a data structure like tuple, list, dictionaries, or sets. Okay? But what if I was to put 1 comma? That is a tuple. That is a tuple. All right? This is not, it's just an integer. This one is an integer, yes, but now it is a data structure. I can, this is a tuple, okay? And tuple yes 2, again, brackets, 1, comma. Again, this is also a tuple. These two are not tuples, okay? So a tuple can only be created when there's a comma present, even if the parentheses are omitted. Even if you don't put parentheses, okay, but you put a comma after the element, it's a tuple. Instead of 1, I could have simply typed Python. It's still a tuple, okay? Glad I covered that. If you have questions or doubts, you can comment below and I will try and cover this again with more explanation if required. Now, how will you check, if once you have created a variable, you have put some data inside it, what kind of, whether it's a tuple or not? Sometimes if this is confusing to you, what I will do is, let's find out the type. Let's find out, come on, the type of this particular variable, this one, okay? And let's print the type of this one. Oops. Okay. Stupid me. There we go. All right. See, tuple yes. It is a number 1 followed by a comma. Okay. That it is telling us that it's a tuple. Okay. Now this one is also a number 1, but there is no comma over there. So when we try to find out the type of it, it's telling me that it's only an integer. It's not any kind of data structure over there. Okay. Now let's move on to the next one. Next thing that we will be covering, it's basically indexing in tuples. Okay, I understand there are immutables, but indexing is still something that you will be doing with tuples. Okay, now it's exactly how it was in lists and sets. All right, indexing in Python always starts with 0 in ascending order. Okay, and in descending order from from the end, it will be -1, -2, -3. We have learned this several times. If you still have confusions, if you still have doubts about it, I have a playlist on my channel. You can go through it. You can look at the heading, look at the title, and you will figure out where we have covered indexing and slicing, how to work on that, to clear out practice exercises in order to clear any confusion or doubts that you might still have. Okay, now let's work on our tuple 1. Let's create one. 10, 20, 30, okay, 50, oops, 50, 80. Okay, this is my tuple. All right, now I wanted the first element. Oh, that's tuple 1. Okay, the first element of this tuple is 10. Okay, but the indexing, as usual, will be 0. Is not callable. Oops, sorry. Not callable, of course, because we are doing indexing, so I need to use square brackets for that. Okay, there we go. The first element is number 10, and the the indexing for that is 0. Let's try the last one. Okay, tuple 1, square brackets for indexing and slicing, minus 1, and we have 80. That's the last element of this tuple. Okay, now if I wanted another one, let's say I wanted the third element. Third element, or let's say I wanted the fourth element of this tuple. Okay, so it will be 50. All right. The fourth element, for the fourth element, the indexing that I will use is 3 because it starts from 0. 0, 1, 2, 3 will be the indexing. Okay, but the fourth element indexing number 3. Remember that. There we go. We can tell this is the first one, second, third, and fourth. So the fourth element is 50. The index value for that is number 3. It can be a little confusing, but practice enough and you will understand it. How do we find length in tuple? It's the same as any other thing. Let's say I want to find out the length of the tuple that we created over here. Okay, tuple 1. There we go. 5. That's the length. That's about it. All right. Now let's say I wanted to change something. How tuples are immutable? I keep saying that, but how do I prove it to you? Okay, let's say in lists, if I wanted to add an element, I'll just use certain methods for it. Okay, over here, let's say I have a tuple. All right, brackets 1, 2, and 4. Okay, and let's say 1, 2, and 3. But I wanted to add number 0 in front of it. Let's try doing this. I'm pretty sure you're familiar with this. We have done something like that. Error. Tuple object does not support item assignment. You cannot make changes in a tuple once it has been created. Okay, now let's move on to the next topic, which is concatenation. All right, I have tuple 1. Let's create 1, 2, 3. Okay, tuple 2, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. Now, what if I wanted tuple 1 to have more elements, like after 1, 2, and 3, I wanted 4, 5, and 6 in it. I can't make any changes in a tuple, like they are immutable. So what I will do is I'll create a third variable, okay, tuple 3, that will be equal to tuple 1 plus tuple 2. Okay, now let's have that printed. There you go. See, that's how you, if you need some changes, you need to create a third variable or a different variable in order to work in a tuple. But you cannot make any kind of changes in a tuple, in an existing tuple. I cannot insist on this enough. You have to remember this. So that's why people either work in dictionaries, sets, or lists when they know that they are analyzing the data, or they're working on it, they're trying to make some changes in it, or there are data which need to be updated regularly. Those are the data structures that they prefer to work on instead of tuple. Tuples are the final, like for example, after exams the final scores are thrown out. That will be a tuple. Okay, medical data, metrics, your biodata, etc., etc. The people use tuples for that. Now let's move on to the practice questions for our next video. Okay, let's create a tuple with 5 elements. Okay, and print its length. Okay, that's one of the questions. I want you to try and work on them, at your own, by yourself. My God, what's wrong with me today? Create a tuple. and access its first and last element. Okay, this is basically indexing. Okay, shouldn't be hard. Try by yourself. If you have questions, if you have doubts, need not worry. Comment below and I will cover them to the best of my knowledge. Okay, create two tuples and concatenate them into a third tuple. Okay, because that's the only way to do something like that in a tuple. All right, next question. Try modifying an element inside a tuple. Try using this methods that we've learned in set and with lists and set. See if it works. See what happens. All right. So these are the questions I want you to try by yourself as practice. Okay. Once again, if you have issues, if you have doubts, please leave a comment. If there is any specific topic that you want me to cover, any specific question that I have not covered in any of my videos related to the videos that I've already posted, and you think I missed something, comment below and I will try and cover them all. All right, so in our next video, we will still be working on tuples, okay, but we will be covering tuple methods and slicing in them, okay. So once again, thank you for your time. I hope you like our videos. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Your support will help us grow this channel. Thank you for your time with Python for Everyone. Have a good day. Bye-bye.